Hi guys, welcome to our first board exam refresher course for General Engineering. And today we're going to solve yung set A natin for General Engineering board exam. Okay, so this is going to be like 3 parts, okay, yung video natin. Because itong ating set A is composed of 30 problems. So hindi natin masosolve lahat in one video, kaya hinati natin siya sa 3. So, bago nyo panoorin itong video natin, mas maganda pa rin na itry nyo munang sagutan yung mga problems natin. Makikita ninyo sa description ng video na to sa ating YouTube channel or maging sa ating Facebook page. Yung PDF file natin, meron dyang link na kapag kinlik ninyo, mada-download ninyo itong PDF file kung saan nandun yung mga problems natin for set A ng Board Exam Refresher course for General Engineering, Then, try nyo munang sagutan, saka ninyo panoorin itong solutions natin. Mas maganda matry nyo muna para masanay din kayo ng pagsusolve ng mga problems rather than just looking sa mga answers, ng mga questions. Okay, so moving on dito sa ating video, we're going to show you now yung mga solutions para sa ating mga problems. Okay, so starting with problem number 1. So, this is a differential calculus problem. Lumabas sa Mechanical Engineering Board Exam, October 1995. We need to find the derivative of the function 2x squared plus 8x plus 9 with respect to x. Okay, so we have a function of x which is equal to 2x squared plus 8x plus 9. Diba? Okay, so we just need to get the derivative now. First derivative ng ating function. So we have the derivative of 2x squared. So we have 2 times 2x plus 8. The derivative of x will be 1. Okay, so therefore our first derivative ng ating function will be 4x plus 8. And this is our final answer here, which is letter D, sa ating mga choices. So this is our final answer here. Now, let's go to problem number 2, which is an integral calculus problem. We have a double integral. We need to determine the double integral of this given, Okay, so let me write our solution dito sa right side para may space tayo. So let me write our given again from 0 to 1. And the integral from 0 to 4. Then we have x cubed dy dx. Okay, so let us solve for the first integral natin. So may iwan itong 0 to 1. And then we're going to get the integral of x cubed dy. So we will have x cubed and the integral of dy will be y. Okay, and this is from 0 to 4. And then, syempre, meron pa rin tayong dx dito, which we will be using para sa ating second integral. So, this 0 to 4 will be for our y. So, that means we still have 0 to 1 here. And then, we have x cubed. Then, substitute natin itong 4 sa ating y. So, we will have times 4 dx. Alright, so ilabas natin itong ating constant. So we have 4, the integral from 0 to 1, x cubed dx. So now let's get the integral of x cubed dx from 0 to 1. So we will have 4. The integral of x cubed dx will be x to the 4th over 4. Right? And this is from 0 to 1. Okay, so substitute natin itong 1. So we have 4. Then 1 to the 4th over 4 minus 0 over 4. Right? So ang maiwan sa atin dito will be 4 times 1/4 lang, So that means our 4 will be cancelled out. So we will have here 1. Which is our final answer, and it is letter A sa ating mga choices. Okay, so now let's go to problem number 3, which is a solid mensuration problem na lumabas sa ME Board Exam noong October 1989. So, a group of children playing with marbles placed 50 pieces of marbles inside a cylindrical container with water filled to a height of 20 centimeter. If the diameter of each marble is 1.5 centimeter and that of the cylindrical container is 6 centimeter, what would be the new height of water inside the cylindrical tank after the marble were placed inside? So, i-drawing muna natin yung ating given, ano? So, let us have our cylindrical container. Let's say, this is our cylindrical container. Okay, so, sabi dito sa ating problem, initially, it is filled with water to the height of 20 centimeter, no? So, let's say this is the level of our water, and this is having a height of 20 centimeter. No? So, this is 20 centimeters. And this is our initial condition. Alright, so, nilagyan daw to ng mga marbles, which is having 1.5 centimeter na diameter ng bawat isa, and 50 pieces nun yung nilagay. So, siyempre, pag nilagay natin yung marble dito sa ating container, tataas yung level ng ating water because nadagdagan yung ating volume, okay? So, let us now draw yung ating cylindrical container, and let us assume this will be the condition after na maidagdag natin yung ating marbles, no? So, tataas yung ating level ng ating water, ano? So, ang pinahanap sa atin is kung gaano raw kataas yan, no? What will be the final height? Okay, so this is the final condition. And don't forget na pareho lang naman yung ating diameter, no? Dahil hindi naman nagbago yung ating container. Same container lang yung pinag-uusapan natin. So, they have a diameter of 6 centimeters. Okay, so bakit tumaas itong level ng ating water? Because nadagdagan siya ng marble, which is also occupying a certain volume. So, kunin muna natin yung volume ng marbles na nadagdag. Well, of course, yung mga marbles natin are spheres, no? So, para makuha natin yung ating volume, kailangan alam natin yung ating equation for the volume of the sphere. Okay, which is 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Now, to get the total volume of our marbles, we need to get itong volume ng sphere, 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Okay, so let me write this mas mabuti, no? Pi r cubed. Then, we have 50 pieces of marble, so we need to multiply this by 50. Okay, so given yung diameter ng ating marbles, which is 1.5 centimeter. Pero ang kailangan natin is radius. So, therefore, we have to divide this by 2, no? So, the radius of our marble is 0.75 centimeter, di ba? So, that means for the volume of marbles, we can get this 4 over 3 times pi. Our radius is 0.75. Okay, then this is cube. Then times 50. Okay, so dito makukuha na natin yung volume ng ating marbles. Okay, so this will be the total volume, ha? Because multiply natin siya sa 50, no? So let's use our calculator. Okay, so lagay natin sa left side para makita natin. Alright, so we have 4 divided by 3 times pi. So, multiply natin sa pi. Then, multiply to 0.75 cube. Okay? So, this is cube. And then, multiply to 50. Okay, so the total volume of our marbles is 88.357. Okay? 88.357 cubic centimeters. So, naka-cubic centimeters tayo because ang ginamit natin dito, yung radius ng ating mga marbles, which is 1.5 cm. So, naka-centimeter yung ating unit. So, we have cubic centimeter in here. Alright. So, makikita natin dito, no? So, tumaas yung volume ng ating water here dahil nadagdagan siya ng marbles. Okay? So, from this level, tumaas siya ng ganitong level. So, as you can see, yung pagtaas ng level ng ating water dito is because of the volume ng mga dinagdag nating mga marbles, no? So, therefore, the volume, sorry, let me use this color. So, the volume of our marbles, the total, okay? This is the total volume of the marbles, will be the volume of the water rise. Okay, so yung volume nito, yung tumaas na level ng water. Okay, so how are we going to get the volume of the water rise? So this will just be the area of our bottom, no, ng sa ating cylinder times the height. Now, in order not to get confused, baguhin natin itong ating symbols here. It's better na kung kailangan nating total height will be big H, no? Gamitin natin yung big H. So, let's say this is big H. And then, itong tumaas lang na level, this level, let's call this small h. Okay? Para hindi tayo ma-confuse. Alright. So, alam na natin yung volume ng ating marble. So, we have 88.357 cubic centimeters now. Then, this will be equal to the volume ng water rise. So, itong volume lang na to. So, we need the area of our bottom ng ating cylinder, which is pi over 4 times d squared. Diba? This is the area, okay, ng ating cylinder, no? Then, we're going to multiply that dito. Yung small h lang, yung nag-increase na height. Okay, so alam natin yung ating diameter, no, ng ating cylinder. So we can substitute that easily. So we have 88.357 is equal to pi over 4 times the diameter, which is 6 centimeters, diba? So given naman yan, ito yun, 6 centimeters. This is squared and multiplied to height. So as you can see, makukuha na natin yung height natin dito. Our height is equal to 88.357 times 4, itong denominator natin dito, and this will be divided by our pi and 6 squared, no? So we have 6 squared. So therefore we can calculate for the value of h. Okay, so let's use our calculator again. So we have 88.357 times 4 divided by pi, and then divided by 6 squared. Okay, so we have 3.125 centimeters. Okay, so yan yung height na na-increase, no, itong tumaas. But ang hinahanap natin dito, what would be the new height of water inside the cylindrical tank? So that means yung total height ang hinahanap natin. So our total height, which is the big H, will be equal to the initial height ng ating water, which is 20 cm, plus itong height na nag-increase, no, yung ating H. So therefore our H is equal to 20 centimeters plus 3.125 centimeters. So our H is equal to 23.125 centimeters. So this will be our final answer for this problem, no? So which is, according sa ating mga given, is letter B, 23.12 centimeter. Okay, so yan yung ating answer for problem number 3. Now we can proceed to problem number 4, which is a trigonometry problem. Lumabas sa ME board noong October 1995. What are the exact values of the cosine and tangent trigonometric functions of acute angle A given that sine A is equal to 3/7? Alright, so sulat muna natin yung ating given. So we have sine A is equal to 3 over 7. Okay, so if you're going to recall yung ating trigonometry, okay, for right triangle like this. So if this is our angle A, our sine is 3 over 7. So that means, since sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so this will be 3 and this will be 7. Okay, so if this is our A and this is our C in our trigonometry, so this will be our B. So according to this, our A is equal to 3 and our C is equal to 7. So we don't know what is the value of B. So ang pinahanap sa atin dito is yung values ng cosine and tangent, no? So which means kailangan nating mahanap yung cosine A, which is B over 7, and tangent A, which is A over B. Okay, so on this, both of these cases, no, kailangan natin yung value ng B. And we can get that by using Pythagorean theorem. Diba? So to get B, we have the square root of 7 squared minus 3 squared. Right? So our B is equal to the square root of, let's use our calculator. So we have 7 squared minus 3 squared, which is equal to 40. Okay? So this is B is equal to the square root of 4 times 10. So the square root of 4 will be 2. So therefore our B is equal to 2 square root of 10. Okay, so we can write that in here, no? So alam na natin yung value ng ating B, which is equal to 2 square root of 10. Okay, so we can substitute that dito sa ating mga trigonometric function here. So cosine A is equal to B over 7. So our B is 2 square root of 10 over 7. And for tangent A, we have A over B, okay, which is our A is 3 and our B is 2 square root of 10. Okay, but we cannot express it like this. Okay, so dapat wala tayong radical dito sa ating denominator. So we're going to multiply this to square root of 10 over square root of 10. Alright, so we will have 3 square root of 10 over 2 times 10 sa ating denominator. Okay, so that means our tangent A will be equal to 3 square root of 10 over 20. Okay, so alin ba yan dito sa ating choices? For we have cosine A, which is 2 square root of 10 over 7. 2 square root of 10 over 7. So itong dalawang choices natin, B and C. Okay, but our tangent is 3 square root of 10 over 20. 3 square root of 10 over 20 is C. So therefore, our final answer here is letter C, no? Okay, so now let's go to problem number 5, in which we have a time rate problem na lumabas sa Civil Engineering Board noong November 1994. Alright, so a gas is escaping from a spherical balloon at a constant rate of 2 cubic feet per minute. How fast in square feet minute is the outer surface area of the balloon shrinking when the radius is 12 feet? Alright, so drawing muna natin yung ating balloon. So we have a spherical balloon. Okay? And then, from here, nag-escape yung ating gas at a rate of 2 cubic feet per minute. So again, recall natin yung volume ng ating sphere is equal to 4 over 3 pi r cube. Ginamit natin yung kanina lang. And then, the spherical or the surface area, no, ng ating spherical balloon here, the surface area is equal to 4 pi r squared, no? So, this is included, no, sa ating lecture in solid mensuration. So, dahil nag-escape yung ating gas at this rate, syempre bumababa yung volume ng ating gas sa loob ng ating balloon. And nag-shrink ngayon itong ating balloon, so bababa rin yung ating surface area. Okay, so the volume of our gas sa loob ng ating balloon is changing with time, no? And it changes the same way our radius is changing. Okay, so the volume is changing with time, so we have dV over dt. Okay, so since our volume is changing, okay, with time, so we have volume is equal to 4 over 3 pi r cubed. So let us get the derivative of both sides, no? So we have dV over dt is equal to 4 over 3 pi. The derivative of r cubed will be 3r squared. Okay, so as you can see from here, makakancel yung ating 3. And then we have dr over dt. Okay? So, basically what we have here is 4 pi r squared dr over dt. Okay, so yung ating dv over dt, ano? Now, our surface area is also changing with time. So, as it changes, magbabago rin yung ating radius, no? So, let us write our surface area here, which is 4 pi r squared. So, let us also get the derivative of both sides with respect to time. So, we have ds over dt is equal to 4 pi, then the derivative of r squared, which will be 2r, then dr over dt. So, this is equal to 8 pi r dr over dt. Okay, so let us not forget that the rate the gas is escaping sa ating spherical balloon is given here, which is 2 cubic feet per minute. Okay, and we need to find out what will be the value, the surface area is changing when the radius is 12 feet. So, given yung ating radius, no? And given yung ating rate. So, that means, given yung dV over dt, which is equal to 2 cubic feet per minute, and given yung ating radius, which is 12, tama ba? 12 feet. Okay, so we have 12 feet. Okay, so let us use itong first equation natin for the volume because given yung ating rate, no, sa ating volume. So we have dV over dt is equal to 4 pi r squared dr over dt. Okay, so alam natin yung dV over dt which is equal to 2. Okay, so ito yon, 2 feet cube per minute. So we have 2 is equal to 4 pi. Then we know our radius which is 12. So we have 12 squared dr over dt. Okay, so now we can find the value of our dr over dt which is equal to 2 over 4 pi 12 squared. So this will be 2 here. So we have 1 over 2 pi 12 squared which is 144. Okay, so alam na natin yung dr over dt natin. Now we can use itong equation 2 natin which is ds over dt. So we have ds over dt is equal to 8 pi r dr over dt. So 8 pi r dr over dt. And we know dr over dt which is 1 over 2 pi over 144. So ds over dt is equal to 8 pi. Our r is, alam natin yan, 12 feet. Okay, so we have 12 feet. Times dr over dt which is 1 over 2 pi times 144, no? So, palitan ko na lang to ng bracket para hindi nakakalito. Okay? So, this will be a bracket. Okay, so makukuha na natin yung ds over dt natin. Ito yung ating required. Let us use our calculator. Okay, so move lang natin dito konti. So we have 8 times pi. Then times 12. Then divided by 2. Divided by pi. So cancel na pala yung kanina. And then divided by 144. So we have 0.3333, no? 0.3333. Okay? So, saan yan dito sa choices natin? It is letter C, no? Sa ating mga choices. So, this is our answer for this problem. Alright, so now let's go to problem number 6. Okay, which is Engineering Mechanics or P6 na lumabas sa EE board noong October 1997. So we have a 100 kilogram weight rests on a 30-degree inclined plane. Then neglecting friction, how much pull must one exert to bring the weight up the plane? Okay? So i-drawing muna natin yung ating given. No? So let's say ito yung ating inclined plane. Okay? And then as per sa given natin, this is 30 degree angle, no? Then this is our mass, okay, yung ating object. And then sabi sa ating given, it is weighing 100 kilogram. Okay, so we have 100 kilogram in here. And then of course, diba, itutulak natin to pataas, so kailangan nating malaman here itong P. What will be the force or how much pull must one exert to bring the weight up the plane. And let's, of course, meron kasi ditong friction, but in this case, our friction is 0 because we're going to neglect that. And then we have a normal force, okay, dito sa ating object, okay? And then, of course, we don't need to elaborate that in here dahil natutunan na natin to sa ating engineering mechanics before, but this angle of the inclined plane is equal to the angle that we have in here. This is also 30 degree. Okay? So, ang kailangan nating malaman is itong force P. Okay? So, all we have to do is to get the summation of the forces on the inclined plane. And this will be equal to 0. Okay, so in that case, we have 0 is equal to the forces in our inclined plane, which is going to the right, we have P, and going to the left, which will be negative, is we have coming from this 100 kilogram weight now. So dahil we have a 30 degree angle in here, kailangan nating makuha is this one. Okay, yung parallel dito sa ating inclined plane. So, in order to get that, so this will serve as our hypotenuse, and this is the opposite of the angle. So, we have to use W, which is the weight. So, this is our W, weight. So, we have weight multiplied to the sine of our angle here. So, we have sine 30 degree. Okay? So, transpose natin yan sa other side. So, we have P is equal to W sine 30 degree. Okay, so given naman yung ating W and given yung ating angle. So, we could get that. So, our W is 100 kilogram and angle is sine 30. Okay, so we can get our P from here. Let us use our calculator again. So, we have 100 times sine 30. Alright, so we have 50, no? So we have 50 kilogram. So this is what we need for our object here to move up the plane, no? So we need 50 kilogram, which is letter D sa ating mga choices. Okay? So this is our answer here. So now let's go to problem number 7. Alright, so this is engineering mechanics again na lumabas sa EE board noong October 1991. Okay, so a simply supported beam is 5 meters in length. It carries a uniformly distributed load, including its own weight, which is 300 newtons per meter. And a concentrated load, 100 newton, that is 2 meters from the left end. Find the reactions if reaction A is at the left end and reaction B at the right end. So, madali itong masagutan if we are going to draw our condition. Ano? So, let us draw first our condition. So, let's draw our beam first. So, let's say this is our beam. And it is supported according dito sa last part ng ating question. We have reaction A at the left end and reaction B at the right end. So let us name this as A and this is B. Alright, so we have a uniform load. Okay, so let's say here, since this is a uniform load, and it includes already yung weight niya, no? So, according sa ating given, this is 300 newtons per meter na uniform load, no? So, we have here 300 newtons per meter. Okay, then, according din sa ating given, our total length here is, where is it? 5 meters in length, no? Yung length ng ating beam. So, this is 5 meters. Then, of course, itong uniform load, we're going to express this as the load dito sa ating middle, no? So, this will be our resultant R. Okay, so let us have that R in here. Of course, dahil nasa gitna siya, so this will be 2.5 and this will be 2.5. And then, wag nating kalilimutan yung sinabi rito na meron pang concentrated load, 100 newton, 2 meter from the left end. So, we have another force in here, concentrated load, which is 100 newton. And this is 2 meters, okay, from the left end. Okay, so this is 2 meters. So, basically, yan yung mga given natin. So, ang pinahanap sa atin is yung reactions, okay, dito sa ating A and sa ating B. Okay, so kunin muna natin yung ating R. Okay, because we have a concentrated load in here. So, our R will be equal to the uniform weight, which is 300 okay, Newton per meter. And this is a total of 5 meters. Okay, so our meters here will be cancelled out. So therefore, our R will be equal to 300 times 5, which is 1,500 newtons, no? So we have 1,500 newtons. And that will be here, no? Sa middle ng ating beam. Alright, so now we're going to get the summation of moment at element A. Okay, which will be equal to 0. Okay, so galing dito sa A, let us start itong pinakamalapit, which is 100 newton, 2 meters mula dito sa ating element A. So we have 100 times 2, because this is 2 meters. Then again, going right is our R. O, R times 2.5. No? Our R is 1,500 times 2.5, which is yung distance niya from element A. Then, of course, dahil may support tayo dito, this will be going counterclockwise. So, this will be negative, which is our RB. Okay, and this is 5 meters from our element A. Okay, so since this is equal to 0, we can calculate for the value of RB. No? So, our RB is equal to 100 times 2 plus 1,500 times 2.5. And this will be divided by 5. So we can get the value of RB. Alright, so using our calculator, we'll have 100 times 2, which is 200, plus 1,500 times 2.5, then divided by 5. So we have 790. Okay, so we have here 790 newtons. And then, for our summation of the moment at element B. This will be equal to 0. So, 0 is equal to, okay, so dito naman tayo manggagaling sa B. So, starting with our element A here, which is going clockwise. So, this will be positive. So, RA, okay, RA times 5. Okay, because this is 5 meters. And then, for our concentrated load, 100 newtons. This is going counterclockwise, so this will be negative. And ang distance niya, since this is total 5, and this is 2 meters coming from element A, so that means we have 3 meters from element B, no? So this will be minus 100 newton times 3 meters. Okay? And then itong ating R, which is going counterclockwise also, so this will be negative. So, minus R times 2.5, the distance of R to our element B is 2.5. So, our R is 1,500, so this will be minus 1,500 times 2.5. Okay, so now we can calculate for the value of RA. So, we have RA is equal to 100 times 3 plus 1,500 times 2.5 divided by 5. So now we can get the value of RA. So RA is equal to, let's use our calculator, we have 100 times 3 plus 1,500 times 2.5 then divided by 5. So we have 810 newtons. Okay, so this is our answers here. RA is 810 Newton and our RB is 790 Newton. So this will be from our choices, letter A. 810 Newton RA and RB 790 Newton. Alright, so now let us go to problem number 8. Okay, so let's go down from problem number 8. Okay, so now we have an engineering mechanics problem again from EE board, October 1996 siya lumabas, ano? Okay, so according to this problem, if a particle's position is given by the expression xt is equal to 3.4 t cubed minus 5.4 t meters, what is the acceleration of the particle after t is equal to 5 seconds. Okay, so sulat muna natin yung ating function. So we have x is equal to 3.4. Okay, let me write this na yung mas maayos. Okay, so we have x is equal to 3.4 t cubed minus 5.4 t. Right, so ang pinahanap sa atin is acceleration, ano? Let's not forget about that. So, if you're going to take the derivative of this equation with respect to time, we're going to get velocity, no? Because this is in meters, and we're going to take the derivative with respect to time. So we will have dx over dt, which is velocity. So we're going to get velocity, which is dx over dt. Okay, so the derivative of 3.4 t cubed will be 3.4 times 3 times t squared minus the derivative of 5.43, which is 5.4. Yan ang may iwan sa atin. Now, how are we going to get acceleration? Acceleration is the derivative ng ating velocity with respect to time. Okay, so that means acceleration is equal to the derivative of our velocity with respect to time. So, all we have to do is to take the derivative of this once again. Okay, so let's take the derivative. So we have 3.4 times 3 times the derivative of t squared will be 2 times t minus the derivative of 5.4, which is 0. Okay, so now we can get the acceleration. Acceleration is equal to, let's use our calculator. We have 3.4 times 3 times 2 Okay, so we have 20.4. 20.4 times time. Okay, so according to our given here, we are asked to find out what will be the acceleration of the particle after time is equal to 5 seconds. So our t is equal to 5. No? So we have a is equal to 20.4 times 5. So now we can get our acceleration. So we're just going to multiply this by 5. So we have 102. Okay, so we have 102 meters per second squared. So this is our final answer in here, which is, sa ating mga choices, is letter B, no? Alright, so now let's go to problem number 9, which is an engineering economy problem na lumabas sa EE board noong April 1996. A man borrowed 20,000 pesos from a local commercial bank, which has a simple interest of 16%. But the interest is to be deducted from the loan at the time that the money was borrowed, and the loan is payable at the end of 1 year. How much is the actual rate of interest? Okay, so from here, makukuha natin yung ating simple interest, no? So our I is equal to 16% ng ating binarrowed na money. So we have 0.16 times 20,000. Okay, so that means our I is equal to 16 or 0.16 times 20,000. So we have 20,000. So 3,200 yung ating I. Alright. Pero hindi yan yung ating actual rate ng interest, no? We have to use our simple interest equation, which is I is equal to P I N. Okay, so we can review this equation sa ating engineering economy, but para magkaroon ulit tayo ng idea, let us write that here. Our I is our interest. Our P is our principal or loan. Our I is yung ating interest rate. Ito yung hinahanap natin. And then, yung N natin dito is yung ating period. Alright. Okay, so we're going to substitute that here. Alam na natin yung ating I, which is 3,200. So we have 3,200 is equal to our P. So, ito yung ating principal, no? Kaya lang, sabi kasi dito, the interest is to be deducted from the loan at the time the money was borrowed. So, sa umpisa pa lang, i-deduct na natin itong interest natin, ano? So, that means, yung binarrow nating money na 20,000, we're going to deduct itong interest, which is 3,200. Okay, so ang hinahanap natin is yung actual interest rate natin, which is I. And then, our N, yung ating period, according to this one, is payable at the end of 1 year. So, our N is equal to 1. Okay, which means 1 year. So, we're going to get the value of I, which is 3,200 divided by 20,000 minus 3,200. Okay, then over 1. So, we have that here. So, our I is equal to, let us use our calculator. Oops, sorry. Okay, so gamitin natin yung calculator natin. 3,200 divided by 20,000 minus 3,200. So we have 0.19047. Or, this is equal to 19.047%. So this is our final answer dito sa ating question. And according sa ating mga choices, this is 19.047 is letter B, which is 19.05, because if you round off this one, we will have 19.05. Alright, for the last question na sasagutan natin sa ating set A part 1, we're going to answer problem number 10, which is a strength of materials problem na lumabas sa EE board noong October 1990. Okay, so a water reservoir of 24 meter height and 12 meter in diameter is to be completely filled with water. Find the minimum thickness of the reservoir plating if the stress is limited to 50 megapascal. Okay, so drawing muna natin yung ating vessel. Ano? So, let's say this is our vessel. And given naman yung diameter ng ating vessel. Okay, so diameter is equal to 12 meters. And then the height of the water reservoir is also given. This is equal to 24 meters. Okay, so one thing that we need to remember is that the biggest pressure inside the container is always the pressure at the bottom of the container. Okay, so in this case, it will be this part. Okay, so in this case, it will be our P in here, in which natutunan din natin to sa ating lectures about fluid mechanics, that our pressure here is equal to WH, where W is the specific weight ng ating water times the height. Okay, so para ma-review rin tayo no, sa mga values natin, let us write here yung ating standard specific weight of water. Standard specific weight of water. Okay, so this could be equal to 9810 Newton per cubic meters, or this could be 1000 kilogram per cubic meters, or this could be 62.4 pounds per cubic feet, or this could be 1 gram per cc, no, or milliliter. Alright. So, to solve this, gagamitin natin yung ating formula for stress, which is equal to pressure times the diameter of our vessel over 2 times the thickness. Right? So, the pressure will be expressed according to this equation right here. So, this will be equal to the specific weight of water times the height times the diameter of the vessel over 2t. Okay, so ang hinahanap natin is yung value ng ating t, no? So, we'll just need to transpose that. Our t is equal to W times H times D over 2 and times our stress. Okay, so, given naman lahat ng values natin dito, ano? We just need to substitute. Okay, so in this case, dahil ang mga given natin is in meters, okay, and megapascal, we're going to use 9810 Newton per cubic meter as the specific weight of our water. Okay, so our thickness is equal to our W, which is 9810, times our height, which is 24 meters. So, we have 24. Okay, and then, yung diameter ng ating vessel, which is, I think, 12. Yeah, we have 12 meters here. So, this will be 12. Divided by 2 times our stress. So, given yung stress natin, which is 50 megapascal, ano? Right, so our stress here is expressed in megapascal, ano? So, we have 50 megapascal. Since it is in megapascal, convert lang natin siya sa pascal. So, we will have 50 times 10 to the 6. Okay? And this will be in pascal, okay? Which is in Newton per square meters. Okay, so let us now solve for this. We can get our thickness. Let's use our calculator. 9810 times 24 times 12 divided by 2, then divided by 50 times 10 to the 6. So we have 0.02825 meters, no? Because lahat ng units natin dito is naka newtons, meters, K, and kilogram. So we can convert this into millimeters. So our thickness is in 28.25 millimeters. So this is our final answer here, in which sa ating mga choices is 28 millimeter, which is letter B. Okay, so we already solved our set A. Okay, problem number 1 to 10. Okay, so this is the first part ng ating mga solution for set A for general engineering. So if you want to see the solution for the rest of the problems sa ating set A, you can jump to the next video natin, ano? So that's all for now, guys. Thank you very much and have a nice day.